Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss the lesson Homeless in the Global Village, written by Vandana Shiva. This lesson is an essay which deals with ecology and modern society. It also deals with questions of development, growth, environment, globalization, and protests and grassroots movements associated with it. Vandana Shiva is a very well known person. If you are a person who keeps tab on current affairs, then you must have definitely come across the name of Vandana Shiva. She is an internationally reputed activist. You can also see the picture of Vandana Shiva on the screen. Now, before proceeding further, let's discuss about the author. Vandana Shiva, born on 5th November 1952 in Dehradun, is an Indian philosopher, environmentalist, author, professional speaker, anti globalization author, and social activist. She is one of the leaders, board members of International Forum on Globalization and has authored more than 20 books. She received the Right Livelihood Award in 1993, an honor known as Alternative Nobel Prize. Vandana Shiva developed an interest in environmentalism during visit a home where she discovered that a favorite childhood forest had been cleared and a stream drained so that an apple orchard could be planted. The present essay is taken from the book Ecofeminism, jointly authored by Maria Mais and Vandana Shiva. She argues how developmental activities uproot the ecological and cultural bonds with nature. Now, let's get into the details. So, Vandana Shiva was born on 5th November 1952. She was born in the place called Dehradun, which is in Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is in the northern part of India. It is next to Uttar Pradesh. It is home to Himalayas. So there is a lot of lush green. It is known for its natural beauty. So you can clearly see Vandana Shiva is a person of many talents. She wears many hats. She is a philosopher, she is an environmentalist, author, professional speaker, anti globalization author, and social activist. She is also the board member of International Forum on Globalization. She has written more than 20 books. And she also has won many awards. And one of the prominent awards is Right Livelihood Award, which she won in 1993. And this award is also known as Alternative Nobel Prize. So this is a very prestigious award. Now there is mention of one particular incident which changed the life of Vandana Shiva. And this particular incident triggered interest in environmentalism. Uh, she started showing concern for the causes of environment. Now, what was this incident? During her visit to home, so during one of her visits, she went to her home, and there was a shock that was waiting for her. So, what was that? The shock was that the forest was cleared, which was her favorite childhood forest. It was cleared, and there was a stream nearby, and that was also drained. This was done in order to plant an apple orchard. Now, this particular incident influenced the mind of, left a deep impact on the mind of Vandana Shiva, and Vandana Shiva started taking the causes of environment. Now, this particular essay that we have, uh, Homeless in the Global Village, is taken from the book Ecofeminism. Now, this book, Ecofeminism, is jointly authored by Maria Mais and Vandana Shiva. And in this essay, she argues how developmental activities uproot ecological and cultural bonds with nature. Now that is discussed in this uh, lesson. Now, before going further, let's let us discuss brainstorming questions. Now, there are three brainstorming questions which you need to keep in mind. If you can definitely seek these answers, answers for these questions while reading this essay. If you understand and appreciate these questions, you will understand the essay in a much better way. Now let's see the questions. The first question is, can development and nature go hand in hand? Second, what makes farmers protest against development? Now third question is, which environmental movement are you familiar with? Discuss. Now, development has become a buzzword. Everybody talks about development. Politicians do, media person, common people, academicians, everybody is obsessed with the word development. But the question is, what actually is development? And if we are talking about development, is it development only in economic terms? Is it only about GDP? Is it only about the production of goods and production of goods? So is development only in the economic sense, or is it development beyond economic terms? Is it in terms of health, education, welfare of the public? So now that has to be discussed. And also in the recent years we have seen, there is large scale destruction of nature in the name of development. Now, is it necessary to destroy nature in order to carry on developmental activities? Now, this is, we have to, so that is the reason we have, now we are coming across words like sustainable development. So development activities that are being carried now has to be sustained. So you cannot carry on with developmental activities at the expense of our very own existence. Now, the destruction of nature has gone to an extent that our very own existence is it is undermining our very own existence. So destruction of nature has to be stopped, but at the same time we have to carry on developmental activities. So that is the balance we have to maintain. So that is the reason why we and also development has to include everybody. It cannot be development only of few. So that is the reason along with development we discuss other two words, that is sustainable development and inclusive growth. So growth has to include everyone. It cannot be growth of just one set of people. It cannot be growth of elite. The growth has to be inclusive. It has to include everyone. Second question, what makes farmers protest against development? So in the news, you must have come across Golibar on farmers, right? You must have come across many farmers um, throwing their throwing their crops on the road and protesting. So why do farmers come to the roads? Why are they protesting? If development is for everyone, then farmers must be included in it, right? So if they are benefited by development, then why are they protesting? Now, this is the question we have to raise. This is the question we need to answer. Now, farmers are clearly not benefiting from the developmental activities. For example, the farmland is being used, farmland is grabbed by multinational companies, government in the name of development, in the name of developing airport, in the name of development of infrastructure. So we are grabbing the farmland. So that is one also. And the other developments like, there is issue of GM crop, there is issues of pesticides, there are many other issues with many other issues of agriculture. So farmers are definitely facing problems due to the development. So that is the reason we need to rethink about our idea and concept of development. So that is the second point. The third one is, which environmental movement are you familiar with? Discuss. So in India, there is a history of environmental movement in India. A famous one is Chipko movement, which was led by Sundarlal Bahuguna and Chandi Prasad Bhatt. So Chipko movement, when the when industry people they started cutting the trees, uh, these activists went there and they hugged the uh, tree and they protested. So that is Hindi means to hug. To hug, they started hugging the trees. So they did not allow people to cut the trees. In the similar way, in Karnataka also we had a Pico movement. So there are other movements such as there was a movement by Bishnois in Rajasthan. There are many grassroots movements which have taken place, which have taken the causes of environment. I can give, even at the international level, there are many such examples. Uh, I'll quote one example, recent example. You all must have heard about the name of Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. She is only 16 years old, and she was in news because she had taken the cause of environment. She gave the speech at UN. So many people are taking the causes of environment because if we continue to neglect environment, our very own existence will be in question. So this is the reason we need to keep these questions in mind while reading this essay, and we will get answers. Also, we need to think about these things. So these are very important: development, growth, inclusive growth, sustainable development, globalization. Globalization is again, are we really benefited by globalization, or only certain set of people are benefited by globalization? Now, this is a question you have to keep in mind and read this essay. Now, let's go through the essay. Global market integration and creation of level playing field for transnational capital creates conditions of homeless in real and imaginary ways. The transnational corporation executive who finds a home in every Holiday Inn and Hilton is homeless in terms of deeper cultural sense of rootedness. But the culturally rooted tribal is made physically homeless by being uprooted from the soil of her or his ancestors. Now, in this first paragraph, Vandana Shiva is talking about homelessness. Now, why is this homelessness created? It is created due to globalization. Now, global market integration and creation of the level playing field for transnational capital creates the condition for homelessness. So, the two reasons for causing homelessness is: one is global market integration. Now, Indian economy cannot be in isolation. Now, Indian economy is connected with the world economy. uh, Now no more can be isolated from the economic impacts of other countries. If there is a global slowdown in Europe or in US, we are definitely going to be affected by it. Similarly, if you see Euro crisis, 2000 Euro crisis, uh, we were affected. In 1998, South Asian Tiger economic crisis, we were affected. So if there is a slowdown in any other part of the country, in any other part of the world, then definitely we are also going to be affected. But now this was not the case before LPG reforms in 1991. So that effect was mild. But here the effect is more because of globalization. All the economies are connected. So all the global market integrate because of global market integration, we all are connected now, and creation of level playing field for transnational capital. Now, not just the goods move from one country to another country. They just don't move across. Or not only goods move across the borders, but also capital moves from one country to another country. They move across the borders. Now, because of this, Everything is connected. So it's a globalized world. Now, because of these two reasons, homelessness is felt both in real and imaginary ways. Now, there are two kinds of homelessness. Now, what are they? The transnational cooperation executive who finds a home in every Holiday Inn and Hilton is homeless in terms of cultural sense of rootedness. But culturally rooted tribal is made physically homeless by being uprooted from the soil of her or his ancestors. Now, there are two kinds of homelessness. First one is culturally homeless, feeling of no rootedness. That is the first kind of homelessness. Second one is the physical homeless. Now, the example of cultural homelessness is transnational cooperation executive. Now, because now some of the companies like Facebook, uh, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, these companies are so huge that their income is equal to the GDP of certain countries. That how big these companies are. So they are, when you see in terms of income, they are almost on par with the some of the biggest countries. So that's how big they are. For them, whole world is their property. Whole world, they can live anywhere. There is no one home for them. For them, the whole world is their home. So because of this, they are homeless in the cultural sense. There is no rootedness. The other one is physically homeless. Tribals are physically homeless because of the displacement, because in the name of development activity, we are driving out tribals from their place. For example, if the tribals are in they usually stay in forest areas, but in the name of development, we are driving them out of their home. So there is physical homeless. They are culturally rooted. They are culturally rooted. They have certain their own set of customs and culture, but they are physically homeless because we are driving them out of their place. Whereas the transnational executive, he has the whole world is his property. He is not physically homeless, but he's culturally homeless. Whereas tribal is culturally, he is rooted, but he is physically homeless. Now, uh, Vandana Shiva is making this point that the homelessness, we all are suffering from homelessness. There are two kinds. One is cultural homelessness. The example is transnational executive, and the second one is physical homelessness. For example of that is tribals. Two classes of homeless seem to be emerging in this global village. One group is mobile on world scale with no country as home, but the whole world as its property. The other has lost even the mobility within rootedness and lived in refugee camps, resettlement colonies, and reserves. The cumulative displacement caused by colonialism, development, and marketplace has made homeless a cultural characteristic of the late 20th century. Now, in the first paragraph, we came across the two kinds of homelessness. And in this paragraph, Vandana Shiva is expanding that idea. She is giving more details about this idea. So, two classes of homeless seem to be emerging in the global village. Now, why global village? Because you can travel anywhere to the any part of the world, right? Moving around the world is quite easy now. Now, not just people can move around, even goods can move, even the capital can move in this world. So the world has become a village, a global village. One group is mobile on a world scale with no country as home, but the whole world as its property. Now, one set, that is the one set which is culturally homeless, but physically it has home. It is mobile on the world scale. Mobile in the sense it can move around in any part of the world, they can move. Second one, they don't have any the particular one country as home because they have properties around the world. They can move around. So there is no cultural rootedness in one particular country or one particular place. So, uh, and the whole world is its property because they are so rich, they can buy property in any part of the world. They have their influence is so huge. This is about the um, culturally homeless example, transnational executive. Second one is physically homeless. That is, example is tribals. Now, second, the other has lost mobility within rootedness. Now, the one is mobile on the world scale. The second one is they have lost mobility within the rootedness. Now, tribals, they don't own property around the world. They are rooted in a one particular place. But now, because they are moved out, now they're very the mobility within the rootedness, their roots are being uprooted in the name of development, in the name of globalization. Now because they are driven out of their homes, of their place, they are forced to live in refugee camps. They are forced to live in resettlement colonies and reserves. Resettlement colonies, refugee camps are not homes. So that shows they have become destitute. They have to they have to live in other place. They are being taken out. They are taken out of their physical place. Now, because of this cumulative displacement, now removing or driving out the people from their place is called displacement. Now, because why is this displacement caused? This displacement is caused by colonialism. It is caused by development. It is caused by marketplace. Now, because of three reasons, homelessness has become a characteristics of the 20th century, of the late 20th century. Now look at colonialism. For example, many of the Indians during Britishers' time were taken out of India and were made to work in the plantations in the British colonies. For example, you will come across many people, many Indian origin people in South Africa, in Kenya, in West Indies. Now, if you're a fan of cricket, then if you might have observed the teams of South Africa, Kenya, West Indies, you will find people of Indian origin. Now, that was during the time of Britishers. After that, due to many other reasons, like globalization, people started immigrating to other countries. You will find Indians in almost all parts of the world. They have immigrated for many other reasons. Now, this was caused by globalism. They were culturally rooted in India, but India is not their physical home. Other countries, it might be America, England, or European countries, South American countries, or Australia, New Zealand. So their physical home is different, but they are culturally rooted in India. Now, this is also caused by globalization. Now, because of globalization, because of colonialism, development, and market place, because of economic integration, this homelessness is caused. And this homelessness has become a cultural characteristic of the late 20th century. Let me just revise the points. Vandana Shiva is talking about homelessness. Now, this homelessness can be real and imaginary.